Hi, I'm Paul Battaglia. Welcome to section 7.3, Multivariable Linear Systems. I'm joined today by Carla and Dave. Welcome.
Thank you.
We need to talk to you today a little bit about structuring this section, especially since the concept itself might be a little bit abstract for students. So what better way to start than maybe with a visual model? So Carla's going to start by telling us what she does with her students to get them an idea of exactly what they're looking at three-dimensionally.
Thank you, Paul. You know, sometimes I want to hit everybody's learning, how they learn. So between the kinesthetic and the audio and the visual learners, I will say, and this hits all of them, by the way. Remember that day we were shooting hoops and everybody's like, yay, let's do it again. And it's like, okay, so 3 of you will get up and throw a ball, and this is right in the classroom, and see where it all lands, where the 3 of them land. And we make a project out of that. And then it also becomes art day, which doesn't have to be a big deal, but I want to do a 3-dimensional model.
Right.
So styrofoam, a ball, some sticks, and you've got a great example. So at least they can decipher.
Yeah, I think we don't want to assume just because we live in a 3-dimensional world that students will now understand how that translates mathematically, right? So now they have this visual model, they have the X, the Y, the Z axis right in front of them. I think now it's time, Dave, right, to get them into the math of it, right? So,
of course.
What is it that you want them to see and understand?
Usually when I go through these concepts with my students, I like to have them work out as many examples as possible. I feel like this section, because it tends to be more abstract, it makes it easier for them to learn the more times they do it. And the more times they do it, the more it makes sense for them. So making sure they're substituting correctly, making sure they're double checking their work.
Definitely.
I think that's huge in this section because you have one mistake in the beginning, all of a sudden that messes up the whole thing. Yeah, but at the end, once you have your answers for X, Y, and Z, it's also very, very simple to go back and just plug in these 2 variables for the different equations to see if it's still holding true.
Right. I think that's the thing. We go through the year, and I think checking your work or checking your solutions falls by the wayside, and this would be a perfect time to bring it back because there's so much involved. There's so much intricacy to the calculations. So we want students not only to feel comfortable with what they're doing, but to know that, hey, I've gotten it right, and give them a little confidence to get into the next one as well. Now, at the end of the section, we'll see partial fraction decomposition. And I think as a teacher, you need to really know your class. You need to know where you're at time-wise, because if you have students that are going on to calculus, you're probably going to want to cover this with them so that they would have seen this before. If not, then maybe this is something you would omit and just kind of wrap it up with some of the back substitution and the Gaussian elimination. Hope these tips have been helpful for you. Good luck in section 7.3.